Hello, welcome to Homemade-ish. Tonight we are going to do a creamy chili verde. So we love soup, and it's something that I was coming up with. I like to kind of cook different things, see if we knew without like tomatoes and whatnot, because my brother can't have tomatoes. So, and we're gonna do it Instapot style. So if you come home from work and you're like, oh crap, I forgot to take meat out of the freezer, we got you. So we are going to get our meat frozen. And we will put it right inside the Instant Pot. See, frozen meat, Instant Pot. And that's it. And then with the Instant Pot, it is a pressure cooker, and the way that it does it is that when you have the liquid and you have the heat, the more pressure it creates, the more it pushes it down, pushes the heat down, and it creates more, and that's how it cooks. Anyway, so it says Instant Pot. It's not instant. It's not like a microwave, which also is not instant, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so we're going to put in a cup, about a cup of cooking liquid. When you cook anything inside the Instant Pot, it needs some liquid, because the liquid helps to steam and push down and steam and make heat. So and pressure cook. So you have to have some liquid. And we're going to just use the vegetable stock, because we're going to use it in the soup anyway. So we'll just do that. Okay, so we are going to essentially thaw it in the Instant Pot. So we're going to thaw it, and then once it's thawed, and it partially cooks it too. And then we'll just mash it, and we'll put it on saute. We'll mash it, and we'll start the whole process as if you hadn't forgotten to take meat out of the freezer, or just had to change your mind because it started hailing, and now all of a sudden you want soup instead of something else. So we're just gonna go 15 minutes. We're gonna hit manual, and we're gonna go 15 minutes. Make sure that your pressure release valve is on sealing, and then it turns itself on, and then it'll go. The pin will pop up as the steam builds, so you can't accidentally open it and explode your pressure cooker, which is like the fear that people have with pressure cookers, because in the past they were known to explode. So the little pin pops up, making it impossible to open the lid, so that you're not gonna, end up with chicken on the inside of your insides without tasting it. So while this is happening, we're gonna cut some vegetables. This is our chopper scooper. We're gonna use that. Did you turn it off? Oh. I'm just gonna keep. We got.
It's also important to note that the 15 minutes is after the vessel comes to pressure. So it takes a bit for it to come up to pressure, and then it'll be 15 minutes after it gets to pressure that it'll cook.
Right. Okay. So I pre-peeled some potatoes. So if you know that you're going to be doing potatoes or something later that night, and you have time in the morning or whatever, you can peel your potatoes and put them in water, and then they don't turn brown. It also takes out some of the starch. So we are normally chile verde has white potato and has white beans. We're gonna do partially some white potato, but then we're also gonna incorporate some cauliflower, because although I like starches, you know, I don't need to explain any more than that. We're gonna make it just a little bit healthier. So we're gonna cut up some potato.
We have used canned potato in the past, so you can just get canned potato and you don't have to peel or anything like that.
Yeah, if I'm in a hurry, like let's say that we smoked, sitting at a weird angle because, let's say we smoked like pork butt the night before, or we had a roast and we had leftover, or a tandoori had leftover, and so I don't have to like cook the meat or whatever, I will use a can of potatoes. They have them diced, they have them whole, and they have them sliced. If I get them sliced, then I pull them out and I cut them in half, and that just makes it so fast, because then you just need a can of beans and a couple cans of potatoes, like depending on how much you're making. I like to make enough so that Chris has lunches. So yeah, so do a couple cans of beans, couple cans of potatoes. So now I have some potatoes, and now we'll do some celeries. This is not celeries. What is this? Cauliflower. Goodness gracious. Cauliflower is bomb. It's very tasty. What did I make the other night? Oh, I got cauliflower. Sorry, that's rude. I got cauliflower, and I was dipping them in nacho cheese. It's a whole thing. I didn't expect that at all. So we're just going to chop up our cauliflowers. Yeah. And you can hear that the water is starting to come to a boil. And once it gets to a certain point, then it will push up the pin and it will start the pressure cooking process. Once it does that, then it will start the timer. At that point, it's 15 minutes to the time that the alarm goes off, and then okay. Alright, so come out. So, another thing that you can do if you are concerned about your carbohydrates, daikon radish is a very good substitute for potato. So it's radishy when you're eating it fresh, and it does have a bit of a different texture than potato, but not like too different. So it's radishy when you are eating it fresh, and then once it's cooked, potato. So if you are looking for something that is not necessarily lower calorically, because we're going to be putting heavy cream in this bad boy to make it creamy, but if you're looking for less carby, then for sure try some daikon. We tried daikon. What did we have it in? Wasn't it this?
Maybe.
I think I made it with daikon radish 2 times ago. Guys, we make this probably every other week. Yeah.
Twice
a week. Or twice a week, twice a month. So.
At least, if not more.
Yeah, and sometimes when we have people over, they request it. So, then we do that. But, yeah. So, if I am running real late, then I will head to the store, and if I know that I have some roast, I'll head to the store. I'll get a couple cans of beans, a couple cans of potatoes, and I will get the verde salsa. And you could even buy like the onion, chopped onion, in like the vegetable section. So, I mean, really, you can pick up everything. They even have like smoked pulled pork too. So, I mean, really, you can make it like super homemade-ish and buy everything there and then just dump it all in and bring it to a boil or throw it all in here. So if you need something like fairly quick, I mean, you could get everything from the store, throw it in here, turn it on for like 15 minutes, go take a shower. It'll be done in like a half hour. And then...
Because there is no substitute for having it simmer for a while and having all the flavors gel or meld.
Right. You do have to have some of that meldage. But the Instapot is good at like... Did you see that?
You bounced the thing.
I bounced the thing and the pressure release valve bounced. What was I saying? Oh, it forces it in there. It forces the flavor. Like it anyway. So, yeah.
So we'll come back when this thing is ready to blow its top.
There it is. Oh, excuse me, cat. Okay. So, you can either quick release or you can do a no pressure release where you just wait for it to come to pressure on its own. We're not doing that. Be careful you don't burn yourself with the hot steam. Okay, so the pin just dropped. Okay, so now we are left with meat that is thawed. Can't really see. So it's still raw inside, but cooked on the outside. Let me see if I can get you a bigger piece. Oh, so it's hot. So it's cooked on the outside, still raw on the inside, so we just thawed it. So now we are going to mush it all up. We are going to turn it to saute. So off and oh gosh, saute. So that will heat just the bottom only. gonna chop it up. And if you don't want it to spin, like if you're doing mashed potatoes or something, you can get a binder clip and just clip it right on there. And it'll keep it from spinning. Okay. So we've got our meat going, and we just mashed it right into the broth because we're just going to use it because it's soup. So we got this going. Next we'll do our onion, and we'll cook this a little bit. Next we're gonna do some garlic. It's a very specific measurement of 2 squeezes. And we'll just start cooking this. So that's still going. You can hear it bubbling. So that's exciting. So then we're gonna do tablespoon of seasoning salt, and we're gonna do a tablespoon of cumin, and this is how my Mexican oregano comes. So
Sure.
in like a little Ziploc bag. I put it in the Ziploc bag, but it comes in this kind of bag with like, you know, at the grocery store when you can get, or like 7-Eleven or whatever, and they have like the circus peanuts or the whatever, and they're in this kind of bag with like the paper crimped top. That's the kind of top it comes in. Anyway.
You can usually find that kind of stuff at like the Walmart in the produce section where they have the dried chilies and such.
We're gonna do a half. I'm gonna do a full tablespoon. I really like Mexican oregano. It's a lot like Italian oregano. It's just
Mexican.
I don't know. There's just a bit of a different flavor. It's like that with when you do El Salvadorian food for pupusas or some other really good salsas. It's just a different. It just hits different. You know, my coworker would say it just hits different. Okay, so we've got our onions, our garlic, we've got our seasoning salt, our cumin, and our this stuff. So we're gonna put in our beans. So you rinse them, and well, there's some liquid still. It's fine. So we're gonna put in our beans, and then we are going to put in our this. So we found this chili verde. It's a medium. We're like, hey, a little bit spicier, because normally the one we get is like pace, I think. I don't really know. It's whatever green salsa is at Safeway. They have several kinds. It's not the one that's inside right now, because that was a different one that we found. So this is bomb. Where do we get this one? Costco. Yeah, this 505. So good. So like it's got smoke in it. It's so good. You can taste that they roasted it. That it's not just super cheap, you know? Anyway, so we're gonna put in, I don't know, a couple cups of that. I'm just saying. I don't know, people. I'm making this stuff up. Couple cups, couple tablespoons of that stuff.
Well, and didn't with the other jars from like Safeway, you use just one jar, right?
Yes. So if it's just like it's the bottle that does this, and then it goes like this.
Right. So it's not the little. It's not the little. Like,
it's not the one that's this size and then has a little lid.
Right. It's the taller one.
Yeah. But it's thin. So it probably has like 16 ounces, like 2 cups in it maybe. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going for. Okay, so we got our green chili verde, our salsa, green salsa. We're gonna put in our potatoes and our cauliflowers. And we're just gonna mush it around a little bit, and then we're gonna add more vegetable broth, because right now, I'll just show you. It looks like this. It's really thick. And both the potatoes and the cauliflower will like juice of it, but we still want soup. So I'm gonna put in the rest of this container here.
What size is that container?
This is a 32-ounce container. So we're making a lot of soup for a lot of people. I don't know. I cooked for tons and tons and tons of people when I lived in Texas, and I cooked at a hospital for several years when I lived in Indiana, and now I cook every day for the National Guard at our coffee shop. I don't know how to make things for just 2 people. I just don't. Okay, so right now, I'm going to show you. It's still not super, super thin. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. It's not super, super thin, but the cauliflower is definitely going to juice. So now, we're going to turn off.
It's okay that we make so much because it keeps in the fridge.
Yeah.
And it's great the next day for lunch, and it's great the next day for dinner.
And you can put it in the freezer. Like, you can freeze it and then thaw some for later. Okay, so I turn it off saute. And now I'm going to put it on manual again. Nope. Where are you? There you are. And I'm going to just back down to 10 and make sure that I'm on sealing. And then, because it's hot and it was on saute and everything, and it's not coming from a cold, it's already up to temperature, and now it'll start cooking. Because everything was already hot. What takes so long is that, like, you've got a lot of cold liquid, and you've got cold food, and you got everything is just cold, and so it takes a long time to create that pressure and that heat. So it's up to temp. It's gonna go, and then yeah. And then we can add the cream, and then we can add the cream. Okay, so it's almost done. Why did you hear the pin drop?
Like MCI.
There it was. It was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Okay. Alright, so now what you're left with is lava. Some hot lava. It's a lot soupier. It's still like nice and thick. See? Right? Okay. So now we're going to add some cream, some heavy cream. Probably, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know, like 2/3 cup. Oh, what was in there. See how it's just a little creamy? Here we go. Okay. So here we go. We're gonna dish up some soup. Don't worry, I have a towel to wipe up this side because I am a messy disher. There's our soup. Put a little sour cream on there. Get some Fritos. And we like some fresh cilantro. On there. Oh, look! Look at the beautiful soup. Can you see the soup? See the beautiful soup? Yes! And maybe you want a little cheese. Take bread on top. You can't make something and not taste it. You know? So you just stir it up. It's gonna be lava. So there's some potato. And then cauliflowers. Okay. Love. Oh, this bomb. Oh, I'm excited to eat this. Okay, get me another bowl so we can do a thumbnail so we can eat.